In the wake of the storm, I was shaken, I was reborn. I got another shot to make it to the top today.
The open house of the new shelter, which is so exciting. You know, 800 women and children were turned away last year because they didn't have capacity, so it's going to be so exciting. I mean, unfortunately, it's the reality that domestic abuse exists right now, so having additional capacity will be great.
I came all the way from Naples to be here today for this. That's how big of a deal it is to some of us, and certainly I think it's a big deal to the community.
There's only 4 domestic violence shelters in all of Metro Detroit. Our shelter shelters about 400 women and children every year. And then we also offer non-residential services, so you don't have to come into shelter to get services. Actually, really, when you think about it, no one should have to come to a shelter to find basic safety.
You know, because domestic violence is one of those topics that people just, it's kind of like taboo. You're not discussing it unless maybe you find another survivor or another, you know, person that might be, you know, in the same boat as you. But bringing people together and really just trying to empower survivors, I think that's one of the most important things we can do as a community and as the shelter and the staff here. And I think they do a great job at doing that.
You know, there's a lot of things about, I want to say about Turning Point, but it's also about the issue of domestic violence. And that is that a lot of people think that it's a monetary issue. They think it's somebody snapped, something of that regards. It really isn't any of that. It's really about control and somebody trying to control somebody else's lives and using violence as a means to exert that control.
A lot of times family and friends don't understand. I always say I felt like I got one of 2 responses. Either people were mad at me for leaving or they were mad at me for staying, just depending on kind of their own perspective. Turning Point is a place where people know and understand what you're going through. They're not going to push you in any direction. They're just giving you the resources to empower yourself to make choices that are very difficult.
The value to the community, immeasurable. Ask anybody who's gained control of their lives by coming to Turning Point, by moving on. How do you put a value on that? You really can't.
And I have witnessed many families and situations that seemed insurmountable and horrific actually do okay and survive and thrive.
I lost my mother to domestic violence. This is my way of giving back and honoring my mother and just making sure that I, you know, spread a message that domestic violence is just unacceptable, and I love that Turning Point is here and they really do a great job at sending that message.
Turning Point is just one of many wonderful organizations throughout the country that are helping give people the ability to move on with their lives and educate the community as to what needs to be done to hopefully end this cycle.
We really do hope and believe that domestic violence and sexual assault can be ended.
This is everything.